Summer vacation. It's a gap between your semesters, it's a break from your classes, and when you're a kid, it's basically time to make Pokemon a full-time job. But to me, it's more than that. Summer is a time to complement everything you get from your academics, to complement your classes. Without your full-time schedule in your way of your courses, you have time to do things that help you gain experience, that'll help you get closer to your goals, things that you can't do while you're sitting in a classroom. So that's the idea we're going to explore today in this video, and I'm going to share 6 different ideas that you can use to make your summer more productive. So this is an incredibly broad topic. It's basically like asking, I've got 3 months free, what do I do with it? And to narrow it down a little bit, I thought I would share just some of the lessons I learned from my own college summers, including one of the biggest mistakes I ever made as a student, which cost me a ton of progress and time. But before we get to that, let's start first with, fittingly, my first summer, which I spent here at Iowa State University on campus. So the first tip here is going to pertain to you if you don't really know exactly what you want to do with your career yet. And that was me after my freshman year. I knew I wanted to do something with computers, but I wasn't really sure what. So instead, I decided to just pursue an opportunity on campus. And that's really what you can do to have a productive summer if you're not really sure where you're going with your career. If you can find something that's challenging, that's going to help you meet lots of new people, it's going to help you learn new skills, that's going to be really, really valuable, and it will almost definitely be worth your time. In my case, I got a job on campus, which here they call cyclone aides, but I think at other schools they just call it student orientation assistant. Basically, I helped students sign up for classes, I answered tons of questions from parents and students alike, and I gave lots of tours of this campus, which, by the way, did you know that Iowa State University is one of only 3 campuses in the nation to be given a distinguished honor from the American Society of Landscape Architects? I still remember that. But that job was actually really interesting, and I gained a lot of experience and skills that I didn't think I would need since I was going into IT. I got public speaking experience, I got organizational experience through organizing an event and hiring a speaker, and I met lots of people on campus that I wouldn't have otherwise met. So it was an incredibly helpful experience. Little bonus tip here, pay attention to these bulletin boards you see around campus because that is actually where I found out about that job. And look, employment information, grad student opportunities, a lot of opportunities are going to be listed on bulletin boards on campus. So do that and also follow your school's social media accounts as well. So on the flip side from the first tip, if you are a little bit further into your major and you kind of know what you're going to do in your career, or you at least have an idea of it, then your best probable opportunity for the summer is going to be looking for an internship that's going to get you some technical experience in your major area. And that's the best possible thing to do, I think, because you can't get a feel for the kind of work you're going to be doing in the future just by sitting in classes. You have to get hands-on experience. Now, we came down to Des Moines, Iowa, because during my sophomore summer, I ended up working at an IT company in the networking department, and that's where I got a lot of the hands-on technical experience in my major area, and it's where I learned to manage computer networks. And that was really helpful because, honestly, my classes didn't really prepare me for what the work would be like. And on that note, I have a little bit of a third tip here. This is less of an action of an opportunity to pursue in the summer, but it is something to be thinking about, and that is to be constantly gauging how you are enjoying and how you're reacting to the kind of work you're doing. Because when you constantly evaluate how that's going, how you react to it, you're going to be able to make better decisions on what to do in the future. For instance, I liked computers, I liked IT, but I was maintaining computer networks every single day for 40 hours a week. And what I discovered through that internship experience that I couldn't discover in a classroom is that I don't like maintaining things. I like to build things from scratch, and I couldn't have learned that in a classroom. So that experience actually helped me to start shifting into being a YouTuber, into being a blogger, and I wouldn't have been able to do that otherwise. So definitely look for internships. There are lots of online resources you can use to find internships, but really the best way to do it would be to go to your career center at your school or your school's career website, and also book an appointment with your career counselor to get your resume reviewed and discuss your career options. You could also, if you're going to be on campus during a summer, book a mock interview. These are one of the best things that I did to improve my interviewing skills during the year, and I also did a couple during the summers as well. So for a fourth tip here, beyond the jobs and the internships, you can also look at taking summer classes. So here's my thoughts on summer classes in general. Like I said, summer is basically a time for you to round out your skill set by doing things that you can't do in the classroom. Because of that, I really don't recommend taking an entire full-time suite of summer courses, because that's basically constructing an extra semester for yourself. You're risking burnout, and you're not giving yourself that time to gain those other types of skills. But if you have a really firm grasp on your graduation plan, you could could maybe take 1 or 2 summer classes in addition to an on-campus opportunity or a job, and that could help you potentially graduate early or just make your next semester easier and have more time for activities on campus. So it is an option. Now, for the 5th tip here, one potential exception to my overall beliefs about summer school is studying abroad, because you can study abroad during the summer, and while you're getting some classes done, while you're getting some degree requirements out of the way, you're also getting a lot of new perspectives on the world. Now, this is actually something that I never did as a student. I did travel independently to Japan during my senior summer with a couple of friends, and it was one of the coolest experiences of my life. I definitely recommend going there, but studying abroad could be a nice combinatorial experience. You could get that experience of traveling the world, but also get some school requirements out of the way. So we've talked about jobs, internships, we've talked about studying abroad in summer school, and that brings us to the final thing I wanted to talk about in this video, which is using your summer to pursue a personal project. And this is actually what I did during my 3rd summer between my junior and senior years, and it is also one of the biggest mistakes that I made as a college student. Now, I don't think pursuing a personal project is a mistake at all. In fact, if you have a skill that you want to learn, that you can learn well on your own, your summer is probably the best possible time you're going to have to sink all the hours you need to sink into it to truly master it. And if it's going to benefit you down the road, that's an awesome thing to do. What my mistake was quitting absolutely everything else and trying to dedicate my entire summer to that personal project. At the time, my project, which was College Info Geek, was doing well. It was finally getting some really good traffic, finally starting to make some money, and logically, I was like, well, if I dedicate every single hour of every single day to that instead of something else, that's the best use of my time. But what I didn't realize was that without any constraints on my schedule, I wasn't going to use my time efficiently because there was nothing coming up during every day. I'd wake up and I would think, I have every hour of this day to do something, so I never used any of those hours very efficiently. It's like Parkinson's law says, work expands to fill the time you allot to it. See, time is kind of like air. With air, when you compress it, you can do some useful things with it. You can pump up your bike tires, for example. But as the space the air is in expands, and as that air gets thinner and thinner, it gets less and less useful to the point where it's so spread out that you can't even breathe it. And your productivity is affected by time as well. If you allot too much time to something, you're not going to be very productive. You're going to be very inefficient with your time. You'll be more prone to procrastination. So if you have something in your summer that's constraining your schedule to a certain degree, it doesn't have to be as much as it is during the semester, but just a little bit, that's going to make you use the time you have left over much more efficiently.
So that about does it for this video, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. And if you did, you can give it a like to support this channel. Wow, this looks like a thumbs down. If you want to get new videos on how to be a more effective student every single week, you can click that subscribe button right above, wink. And if you want to get a free copy of my book on how to earn better grades, well, a digital one at least, you can go right there. Previous videos right there, full articles right there. I'm about to pass out. And if you want to connect with me, just use the social media links right there. See ya.